Hi everybody, this is Leo Ropes and this is Let's Play with Leo Ropes. I hope everyone's doing good. I've been good. It's been a while since I've done a video, but I'm back. I'm sure all of you missed me, all five of you. So what's up? What's new? I hope you're doing good. I hope all of you are doing great.
Got some rare things on
As
sale, stranger.
my one of my favorite comedians says, holy shit, I forgot his name. He's my favorite comedian. I forgot what the fuck his name was. Bill Burr. Bill Burr. He goes, I'm just checking on you. Just seeing how you're doing. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done a video. Mainly because I've been a little busy. Been a little busy. Um, as some of you know from my last few videos, I got into the construction business, working as an electrical apprentice. You know, trying to get my foot in that door. And well, Hurricane Harvey happened. I think most of you know the story. Yeah, but Hurricane Harvey happened, devastated most of the Texas coast. From Houston to Port Lavaca, the city where I was working at last, where I was working for a cement company, Port Lavaca. Um, the day of the hurricane, they had to be evacuated, or the day before. I'm sorry, the day before, they had to get evacuated. They evacuated the whole town because of how bad the hurricane was going to be. So, yeah, that put me out of work for a while, and so I was sitting on my ass here at the house, not really much to do when I decided to start my career off, or to start over in another career in the second time in 2 years. Um, Decided to go get my CDL, my commercial driver's license, to go drive those big rigs. And I've always wanted to do it. I have some family members that do that. Um, I've got a couple cousins. My dad has a few cousins that do it. Um, and I worked one of my uh, one of the first jobs I had, or the second job I had. I worked for 6 years at a in a warehouse, shipping juices, and I worked in the shipping warehouse, and I was there for about 7 years, where I got promoted to a manager in that warehouse, and so I was involved in shipping, got to talk to a lot of truckers, that were picking up our product, and so I always wanted to do it, but because I was always working, I never got to, uh, I guess I got kind of comfortable. Didn't want to change careers. I was doing pretty good in that company. Didn't want to. Uh, I didn't want to. What's the word? Rock the boat, I guess. And so when I finally quit, and I decided to go into construction as an electrical apprentice with an uncle of mine and my father. As soon as that happened, got hit with this huge hurricane, which put us out of work for a while. So that's my luck. Um, but maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Now I've got this. Now I'm going to school for a commercial driver's license, and I've been doing pretty well. Hopefully, maybe in this. What are we today? I think we're August. I'm sorry, August. I think today we're October 23rd.
Leon, how
At
you
the time
holding
that I'm
up?
recording this, and hopefully by the end of the week, I won't be eligible to get my CDL, but I have my permit. And once I get enough practice driving the truck at the school, I'll be able to get a job just with my permit. Like on good faith. Basically them saying we're gonna hire you, knowing that by the end of the month, which is when my driving exam is with with the DPS, that's when I get the exam, and if I pass it, I get my commercial driver's license, and they're gonna hire me like as a good faith type of deal. We're gonna hire you with oh shit, with with the guarantee, I guess, that I'm gonna be getting my commercial driver's license. So so yeah, that's been my life the past couple of months. So tonight I was, I didn't have anything to do tonight. It's October 23rd. It's 10 a.m. and didn't want to go to sleep just yet. I was gonna go to bed because I obviously have school tomorrow. But I figured, maybe I should record a small video, give everybody an update on what I'm doing. While playing one of my favorite games, Resident Evil 4. This game originally came out on the GameCube. And interestingly, this game, it's kind of ironic. This game was only supposed to come out for the GameCube exclusively. Capcom, who develops the Resident Evil games, had done like a 3-game exclusivity contract with Nintendo, and I can't remember the guy's name. The guy who was the head of Capcom, I think at the time, said that if Resident Evil 4 came out on any platform other than the GameCube, he would chop off his own head. This game came out in 2004, so now fast forward, 17 years, 16 years later, and now this game is fucking everywhere. This game came out on the PlayStation 2. It came out on the Wii. It came out on PC. It's come out on it's come out on and then they released it as a digital download for the Xbox 360 and the PS3, and then they re-released it again with even more graphical upgrades on the Xbox One and the PS4. And which is the one I'm playing right now. This is the PlayStation 4 version of it, and this is, my goodness, this is like, I wouldn't say this is one of my favorite games of all time. It's not up there, but from that decade, from 2001 to 2010, it's one of the best games of that decade, for sure. It's up there with Red Dead Redemption, Mass Effect 2, or not Red Dead Redemption. That didn't come out until 2010, or I don't know, but it's up there with Halo 2 and Half-Life 2, and those games, of that caliber. I remember when I think I got this GameCube exclusively just to buy Resident Evil 4, because funnily enough, I love the Resident Evil series today, but up until 2004, when I played Resident Evil 4, I wasn't a big fan. I wasn't a fan of it at all. I remember I played Resident Evil 1, I think way back when it came out in the mid-90s. Of course, I was 5 or 6 years old, but even then, even though it was one of the first games I ever that ever had like voice acting that I ever heard, like even I knew at that time, like, man, this voice acting is fucking terrible. Chris, no, don't open that door. I was like, oh, Jill, you almost became a Jill sandwich. Oh man, just so many examples of so many stupid lines. Look at this blood. Oh, I hope this is not Chris's blood. Or one of my favorite ones is when Barry goes up to Jill, and Jill's is supposedly like this really good lock-picking expert. And he's like, Jill, I would prefer to give you this lockpick because you, of all people, are the master of unlocking. So even at that age, I think I might have been 6 or 7 years old when I first saw Resident Evil 1. And I just kind of wrote it off like, man, this is so stupid. And you know, growing up uh, from that, and then you know, of course, Resident Evil 2 comes out, Resident Evil 3, Code Veronica, um, and then like a bunch of spin-offs, you know, Survivor, and just a bunch of games, and then on top of that, like in G4, G4 Tech TV back when XPlay was on the air, you know, I don't know if many of you know what XPlay is, but it was like a game reviewing, um, TV show that would come on, and you know, just like an extra tidbit on just so you know what kind of person I am. I remember tuning into XPlay because I thought it was like, I remember channel surfing, and I thought XPlay was like a porn television show. I thought, hey, XPlay, that sounds kind of pornographic. You know, again, you're talking about somebody who at the time was like 13, 14 years old. And so, testosterone coming out of my ears. So, you know, I tuned into XPlay, became one of my favorite shows. I started watching it every day. And then they came out with a skit, you know, kind of making fun of the old Resident Evil games. You know, like even this game still has it. That you go up to an item. Oh shit. Um, and it asks you, you know, do you want to pick up this item? Of course I do. That's why I clicked on it. Like this. Do you want to take this handgun ammo? Like, yeah, of course I do. Like, why can't they just pick it up with that, you know, with that screen coming up? And you know, they made fun of the fixed camera angles. Like you could, like somebody was attacking you off screen. You couldn't see who was doing it or how they were doing it or where they were at. You just kind of had to shoot blindly. And XPlay just kind of they destroyed uh, Resident Evil. So I remember watching that and kind of justifying, like, you see, like that's why I didn't play any of those stupid Resident Evil games. They're so stupid. So I didn't play any of them. I think maybe a couple of my friends might have had them and I played them a couple times, but it's just one of those, you know, you're at that age and you think you know everything, and you think like, you become like this arrogant asshole, and you become kind of like this elitist to try to make yourself seem smarter, but it's so stupid. So you know, so of course, like, so at this time I'm like, I regard everything that they say on XPlay, I regard it as like gospel. I think everything that they said I thought was genius. Like these guys know, they know what they're talking about. And so I think E3 2004 or 2003, I can't remember which one it was, where they were covering it, and a lot of people came out of that with like, everyone was just like, wow, Resident Evil 4. Not only is it good for like a GameCube game, or a good game for, or not like as a Resident Evil game, like not only is it good as that, this might be like the best, one of the best video games of the year. And I was like, wow, holy shit. You know, and they were talking about how there's no fixed camera angles. You know, you could see everything that's in front of you. There's no hokey dialogue. You know, the enemies that you're fighting are you know, are kind of smart. You know, they have a certain intelligence at the time. You know, obviously now, you know, they compete with the modern day, you know, enemy AIs. They don't stand a chance. But at the time, like, ah shit, these enemies were considered extremely intelligent. You know, and they try to get around you, they try to flank you, and they try to, you know, it was just ahead of its time. And like right now, there's somebody behind me. Oh shit! And so they came out with with that kind of preview out of E3, and so now I'm thinking like, holy shit! Like if these guys were making fun of Resident Evil relentlessly when I first started watching, but now they're doing this review, and it's like they really like Resident Evil 4. Like holy shit! Like you know, it would have to be really good to make you go from like I hate the Resident Evil series to, from that, and then to go like, wow, Resident Evil 4 might be the best games of this year. So then the game actually came out, and I can't remember what review, what score XSplit gave it. Might have been a 5 out of 5 because at the time they were going on a 5-point score system, and it was up there with a lot of games, you know, that were being released at the time. One of the top games of the year. Unfortunately, I don't think they won any of the Game of the Awards. I think some people gave them Game of the Year. But usually, like a lot of magazines, I think they either gave it to Halo 2 or Half-Life 2 or God of War. I think God of War came out that year also. There are just so many good video games that year that Resident Evil 4 kind of remained overlooked. Oh, excuse me. Which was unfortunate, you know. It sucked.
Feeble human.
But no, I feel like it gets the love that it deserves. Especially considering nowadays where a lot of people don't like the Resident Evil series again. Like it's come full circle. Because people liked Resident Evil 1, and then like they really liked Resident Evil 2, but then by like Resident Evil 3 and then Code Veronica, and people just started kind of, you know, shitting on it. But then Resident Evil 4 came back, revived, you know, the series,
Selection of good things on sale.
and then 5 and 6 came out, and now everyone's hating it again. But now that 7's come out again, like they've reinvented the wheel again with Resident Evil 7, and like now everybody loves it. So, but yeah, back to my story about how I you know, I think I had a birthday. For my 14th birthday, I got like a bunch of money for like instead of buying me gifts, I remember I told a lot of people like, just give me money. Like I'll go buy my own gifts. Cause like a lot of people were like, you know, he's a teenager, we don't know what he likes, like we don't want to get him something childish, but we don't want to get him something grown up either. So like I got a bunch of gifts, but I also got like a bunch of money from a lot of people. Like I think I got like $150 or something like that. And my birthday is right before my brother's birthday. My brother Randy Rhodes. And I don't remember if they did him a party or I think they did, but I wanted to, like, with the money that I got for my birthday, I wanted to get him a gift. And so I you know, we had a PS2, but like, you know, being the big brother, I was kind of a dick because I was playing it all the time. And so I felt like, you know, I should get my brother a console. But I didn't want to get him another PS2 because, like, okay, well, we already have that. So I remember I got him a GameCube. And I can't remember what the first game we bought was, but I know the second game we got was Resident Evil 4. And even though the GameCube was supposed to be my brother's console, it's almost like I confiscated it for myself after I got Resident Evil 4. I remember, I can't for the life of me remember what the first game we bought was. I know it was something that I knew he liked, but I can't remember what it was exactly. But once we got Resident Evil 4, I was like, I'm playing this. And which was cool with him because now he could actually play the PlayStation 2. And this game is fantastic. This game has excellent pacing. It's extremely balanced. Like right now, like I'm playing it. I'm playing it with I'm doing like a new game plus. You know, where I've got all the weapons, I've got all the armor upgrades, it's basically like easy mode. Basically, I've beaten it so many times. Oh shit. Lost my chance. But yeah, it's got excellent pacing. And, but okay, so the story is not anything that's it's not a game that you would say like the story is you're gonna play this for a story. Like no, you're not gonna play this for the story. No way in hell are you gonna play this for the story. You play this story because you want to shoot some zombies. You want to do shit like that. You want to fight some fun enemies, and you want to solve some moderately to hard puzzles, moderately easy to hard puzzles. Like some of them are pretty hard, but like if you've played it before, like like once you solve it once, like you're not gonna have trouble with it ever again. Um, and and, and that's another bit. Like it's extremely replayable because every time you beat it, like the first time you beat it, you can keep all your weapons and stuff like that. I think you also unlock some costumes. Like I think you unlock Leon's Resident Evil 2 costume. Um, and then if you beat it again, but like in professional mode, which is the hard mode, you unlock some more costumes, and you also unlock like time trial mode. I forget what it's called, the mercenary mode. There you go. It's like a time trial mode where you go to certain stages and it's like horde mode. There you go. That's the one I was trying to find. It's like horde mode, where you try to kill as many enemies as you can within a time limit, and you get bonuses for doing certain things. Um, but yeah, I remember I played Resident Evil 4, and I absolutely loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was I fell in love with this game so much so that I figured I ought to go play the other games because after going back and playing after playing this game, I went back and I figured out that the character that you play as in this game is Leon Kennedy, and this is the second game he appeared in. The other game that he appeared in was Resident Evil 2. So I figured I should go back and I should play um, Resident Evil 2. I want to know more about this Leon guy because in this game Leon he's it's not so much that he's an interesting character because there's no character arc. He's basically like a government agent, and he's been sent to rescue the president's daughter, and that's it. I think the only other character that interacts with him that's sort of an ally from the previous game is Ada, and there's kind of like a love thing going on with them, but it doesn't go anywhere. As a matter of fact, I don't think it goes anywhere until like Resident Evil 6, 2 games after this one. So, where were they going with this? So yeah, so I went back to play Resident Evil 2, and I played it, and I loved that one. I was like, holy shit, like this isn't as bad as those guys on X-Play, made it out to be. This is actually like an okay, like a pretty good game. And then I went back, and I didn't play the original Resident Evil, the first one, but I did play the remake of it for the GameCube because now I had the GameCube and I can play it. And even though the graphics were amazing, and even though it was interesting, but Resident Evil 1 got kind of heat because people were kind of hoping that it would have like new gameplay or anything, but it didn't. It played exactly the same, almost. It had those tank controls that you play here, but I still liked it. I thought it was fine. Um, and then I played what game I played. I think I played Resident Evil 0 after that, which was kind of disappointing because it was the perfect excuse to do multiplayer. Like that was the first excuse you could have made. Capcom could have made you know, to make it into a multiplayer game, because you can switch between the two characters. You got two characters with you at all times, and sometimes you gotta switch between them to solve some puzzles, or to hold certain inventory items. And Capcom could have, you know, made it so that one player controlled, I think one of the characters' name is Billy, and the other one is Rebecca. One person could have played as Rebecca, excuse me, and one player could have played as Billy. But you know, they didn't do that, so it got some heat for that. Oh shit. And so that one was okay. Like again, it got heat for not making it multiplayer, and it got heat because again, the gameplay was almost exactly the same as every other Resident Evil out there. They didn't change the formula. They played it safe essentially. And so um, I played Resident Evil 3 after that one. I thought that one was okay too. And then I played uh, the one for the Dreamcast, Code Veronica. There you go. Which is you know, it's kind of interesting how that plays out because Code Veronica originally was supposed to be the third game in the series. It was supposed to be the first one, you know, for the PlayStation, or the first two for the PlayStation, and then the third one was supposed to be on a new console. And it was supposed to be the actual continuation of the story of, because it continues the story arc of the character from 2, which was Claire. Because at this point, the game had been about the Redfields. The first game was about Chris Redfield and his ordeal inside the mansion and with Albert Wesker, and you know, and he was with stars and stuff like that. And then the second game is when they introduced Leon, but then they also introduced Claire Redfield, you know, to keep that connection to Resident Evil 1 open. And her whole deal was, you know, she's looking for her brother because he disappeared apparently after Resident Evil 1. And then Resident Evil 3 was supposed to continue that arc, that she's still looking for him, and she finds out that he's in Europe somewhere, or whatever. And then, you know, so it continued that story arc. Resident Evil, you know, Albert Wesker comes back. They gotta fight him, and that was supposed to be originally Resident Evil 3. Um, but I guess apparently Capcom had like a 3-game deal with Sony, with PlayStation, and if they were gonna make a 3 game, it had to be for the PlayStation, the original PlayStation. And Capcom kind of got around that because at the same time they were making Resident Evil, uh, the 3 that we know that today, you know, the one with Jill, where you play as Jill as the main character, and it details her escape from Raccoon City. They were also developing that game for the PlayStation, so they just figured, you know, we've got this game for the PlayStation, you know, we've got this game that we're doing for the Dreamcast. Why not? Like, if Sony wants us to do a game, like if it's gonna be a 3, it's gotta be for the PlayStation. Why don't we just like, fine, the one for the Dreamcast won't be 3, so we'll just make, you know, the one with Jill as number 3, and we'll just call this game, you know, Code Veronica. And even though Resident Evil 3 doesn't continue the story of the Redfields and Wesker, you know, at least it continues the story of Raccoon City. Whatever. So, you know, canonically, if you want to follow the story from the very beginning, uh, you you know, you played 1 and 2, and you're kind of wondering, well, which one should I play next? Well, if you want to continue the story, you go with Code Veronica. Um, and then Resident Evil 3 serves as kind of like a little side story. Like it shows the aftermath of what happens after 2. Well, actually, here's another interesting tidbit. Resident Evil 3 actually starts at the beginning of the Raccoon City incident. It starts off before Resident Evil 2. So it's kind of like a midquel, like not a prequel, but not a sequel, because it takes place before and after too. Because at the beginning, it takes place at the beginning of the incident, and then like there's an incident that happens within the game that where I think Claire gets infected or something like that. Not Claire, I'm sorry. Jill gets infected in 3, and she gets unconscious somehow. And then when she wakes up, the events of Resident Evil 2 have already happened, and so now uh, they're able to show the aftermath. So just some tidbits I think you should have known. So I think I'm gonna leave you guys here. I've got some things to talk about. I think I'll probably do more videos. Try to do more often. You know. But we'll see. We'll see how busy I get. I know for sure. I think I'll try to do them all this week, because after this week, I think I might be too busy. I might start working. So who knows? Who knows what'll happen? But I hope you see those videos. I want to thank Chamber 6 Media. I heard that they just won an award in California for best documentary short. Hang on, let me see. You know, I don't want to be a dick and congratulate them on winning an award. And I can't remember. I can't remember where they won that award from. Gosh, my internet is super slow. Gosh, I feel like a dick. I know they won an award. I just can't remember who with. I know it was an award out of California. Let's see. The Desert Rocks Film and Music Event. And congratulations to the Desert Rocks Fame winners. And they got number 1 for documentary short, The New Direction. Number 1. Want to congratulate them on that. The New Direction is a very interesting documentary. You know, I remember watching it. Um, I've been to Fargo. I've kind of I haven't. I was there this past summer. Uh, they're full of very cool and interesting people. I suggest. I don't know if he's gonna release it on DVD or Blu-ray or however. But check out Chamber 6 Media's Facebook page. Look for Oscar De Leon's page. Sometimes he'll show the video. He'll show the documentary for free on YouTube sometimes. So go ahead and check him out. And so I'll catch you guys next time. Take care. Bye.